Eldlich finally drives home a regional finish. 33.8% of you guys just have not smashed the love and crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can get to 100K. Alright, so looking at this regional breakdown, it's going to tell the same story that we saw from Core yesterday, where we saw that there were 3 Sword Soul decks in top kind. You're like, oh my god, Robbie. Ah, so boring. Well, this time the story's got a different tale here. This time, Eldlich was the one that had the final laugh. This old, decrepit zombie kicked back on his throne and said, hold my beer, ladies and gentlemen. Running home a first place finish out of this regional. Between like the amount of diversity and stuff that's present in this format, besides like the top contenders and stuff here, Rogue very much is still a threat in the modern era. I think that's kind of something that you're going to have to kind of consider here as you look at the development of this format. Rogue is doing immensely here. We had 2 virtual world lists for you guys as well in this top cut, and a Flunderies and a freaking Phantom Knight list for you guys. Well, Robbie, you know, Virtual World is still pretty much first. Yeah, the deck still pretty much is fighting in like that top 6 spot. All right, like VW's shown immense results out of these events, and Phantom Knights just continues to be like a scary dominant force. Penguins kind of running it up on the back of the line here, showing us that, hey, we're still a contending deck, but we're not quite doing as well as these other particular decks. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing here, but it does kind of go to show in the format right now that going second does have a place in the format, and I think that's something that a lot of players kind of need to be aware of as we do see that development here. Well, we're going to pass it over, and we're going to take a look at some deck lists for you guys, including the fabled zombie first place list. The winning list out of this regional for 1UP was none other than, yes, ladies and gentlemen, a very well-teched out zombie deck. I get a lot of vibes from the OCG metagame with this deck. The double gamma 1 driver is absolutely nice. We actually have the Evenlies in here. It's actually kind of nice. We kind of needed a way for this deck to kind of make up for skill drain being at 1. Now, it's not to say that skill drain isn't a power card, because the minute this card touches down, you'll probably be winning a majority of your games. All right, 43 cards kind of rounding this out is interesting. We have the inclusion of triple Extrav, 1 prosperity, so you'll get yourself a net 2 here on this. This one will give you more specific filtering here. And the 2 gamma kind of just ensures that you want to see this some of the time, but not all of the time. I already know that somebody's going to hate that logic here. We also have the built-in Ecclesia with 1 Nadir Servant here to get us access to Punishment. Alright, now Punishment is a 2-of in this deck. We're not trying to go like too crazy on that. I mean, the rest of the deck, the Floodgates, the Torrentials, all this stuff should be taking and holding down the fort for you. IO is just an additional copy of Solemn Judgment. That way you can actually, protect your back row investment. Technically, we have 5 ways to stop our back row from getting blown up, and it's not like we don't have like the great equalizer here as it is. And sticking up down here in the side deck, we also have the borders. So if we go first, we board into, borders set 4 to 5, kind of left the opponent and play the game. All right, all this deck needs to do is get the game back to its turn, and it is good times a-going for this. So yes, Eldlich taking down a first place finish. Man, I really do like this deck for what it does. Next up here is Sword Soul Tenyi. This is Nicholas Barnes' second place finish here. I also gonna give a little shout out to his YouTube channel down below, the Wise Guys TCG. Please do check that out. Alright, so Sword Soul variants, we're playing the 2 Tai, 2 Long Yun, triple Mo-Yi, that's all fine. We have the 2 Blackout, that's fine. Okay, so we're on 2 Vishuddha, 2 Ada, triple Ashuna, that's all fine. We have Chalices built into the main deck here, and Drolls. So, perpetually, like, this should be your equalizing options here. We have the draw powers. Feels pretty standard for the most part here. We have Protos down here so we can search it and do what we need to do. I see that we also have the Anti-Spell Fragrance as well. This card's really freaking bonkers right now, man. Like, you see this card, you should be winning the game. Absolutely. Outside of that, there's nothing too crazy about this. Just very standardized for this particular list. Next up here, this is 4th place. This is James Woodman's Flunderies list. I see that we have the 1 Ryza double M pen. We're not playing Apex Heavy on here. I see that we have talents built into this particular list as well. And we are playing Crossout Designator. Now, Crossout's kind of hit or miss in this deck. For the most part, from what I've seen, this deck does have hand trap issues. Watching your Rabina get just interrupted by an Imperm or an Ash, yeah, it really sucks. But I feel like this card's meant to help you round that out. So, are there 3 better cards you'd rather play? Would you rather play Book of Moon or Enemy Control like some of the other lists that we kind of saw coming out in the earlier stages here? That's kind of up to you, but from where I'm sitting right now, yes. This build is choosing to play this. And it looks like Shifter, I feel like, has become a little bit more of a staple for these builds going forward. So, kind of things to consider at this stage. Is Crossout something that you want to kind of dedicate in to your Flunderies deck or not? And I see that this build's opted to play the Macro Cosmo. Literally between Macro, DeFi, in the main or in the side, to some capacity, looks to be about what we're at right now. So, I do think we'll have to wait and see. Also, this extra deck, in the notes for this, he said, good luck explaining the extra deck. I'm just like, boy, Kaiser Glider, just, this duelist picked their favorite cards to have presented in their extra deck just for this. Hey, look, we have prosperity targets to banish, I guess, right? Next up here is Phantom Knights. So this particular variant we actually saw come out earlier in the week out of another regional piloted by the exact same duelist here. Alright, still taking advantage of playing Plasma with Celestial with the double fusion destinies. I previously stated with this, I love the idea of being able to still have Fusion Destiny, reduce the amount of targets, and imagine being able to produce a Phantom Knight board, deploy a Plasma on it, and just laugh at your opponent. Because I guarantee you, half of the metagame is going to struggle with having a Plasma on the field with everything else that's already kind of presented with this deck. Alright, Phantom Knights are pretty notorious. Like, God, a Plasma back with like double Fogblade. That just, somewhere in my stomach, feels absolutely disgusting. And it's like not even fair for the average duelist to try to outplay that. So, by mixing up the formula a little bit here, you get more value out of the Plasma in the situation that it actually arises into your opening hand. So yeah, very, very interesting. I love little cute innovations like this at this point in time. Next up here, we have Virtual World. Double talents, okay. Double Droll, double Ash, double Nibiru. We really are mixing up these hand trap ratios. E-Telly absolutely made this deck feel so much better. I see that we have the GUTIERREZ in here for the Stormwinds. We have the absolute favorite D-Barrier. You flip this against Synchro deck, you get your free win. I see the 1 anti-spell down here. If you draw it, you draw it. Quite honestly, outside of that, this feels pretty streamlined, all things considered. Alright, 1 Foolish Burial Goods feels kind of interesting as well, but I feel like if you got the 1 slot, you may as well try it out. So yeah, nothing else too crazy about this. Virtual World, also we're not doing Muddy Mud or Kaliga shenanigans for this build, okay? And the last list I have for you guys here is going to be 8th place. This was another variant. Oh boy. This one has a 1 of Valor. This one's trying to be cheesy out here. We're trying to play cross-out designators in this deck. You know what you're trying to do here. Alright, you just want to... Oh man, you cross out, you have a good time in this. 2 seems to be fine. This build is playing Kaliga as our generated boss monster of choice with Muddy Mud, so no Dark Magician or Dark Dragoon shenanigans for this. But overall, this looks pretty straightforward here. I see that we are playing the Metal Foes Fusion with the Foolish Burial package. It's been a little while since we've seen that kind of show up here too, but alright, that is your breakdown for 1-Up TCG. That Eldlich variant definitely has me excited for really cool ideas to test going forward here. So guys, what do you think about this breakdown? Please leave a comment about, tell me what you guys think. Smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on today with some more cool awesome content. Peace out, guys. Have a good one. Thank you, patrons, for making the probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCool40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCool40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcoolgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.